So I'm Eddie, this is Kurt. He is the board of directors for the Land Cruiser Museum out in Utah. He knows everything about these Land Cruisers pretty much. And I have my FJ62 here at Destination Outdoor, North Carolina. And we're gonna do kind of a buyer's guide and kind of walk you through, if you're gonna buy one of these, what are some things you should look for? What are the things that are wrong with this one? And maybe what are the things that are right? And see what happens.
Well, you make me sound way cooler than I am. I've learned a lot about Land Cruisers, but I'm always still learning too. So I feel like I know a lot, and then every day I learn something new. So it's kind of fun to get to check out your cruiser, and I've seen it at events, but haven't been able to spend much time. So it's been fun getting to poke around. Yeah,
so if you guys have been following the channel, you know that I bought this without ever seeing the vehicle. It was basically an impulse buy off Facebook Marketplace. I had all the records, but there was a lot of surprises when I got this. And there's not a lot of time. You have to just kind of like make a move and be decisive when you find a decent deal. And so I want them to start, from the front engine bay. A lot of this stuff we've done ourselves, but a lot of it is stock. And just point out some things to the viewer, and let's see what we find.
Yeah, you bet. So some of the, perfect to start at the front, especially on an auction vehicle or something you're buying sight unseen, you just don't always have the time because you don't want to miss out on a good buy,
right.
But on the same time, you don't want to get stuck with a lemon or something that's been a wreck. So I always really look at some of these joints here and look at this core support, look at the sealant. You can tell a lot if the front end of it's ever been reconstructed by kind of looking at this front core support and this whole front radiator setup. So you can tell yours has been off before, not a bad thing. Likely means maybe they took it out to change the radiator or do AC work or sills and gaskets on the front of the motor.
I'm gonna pause right there. We replaced the AC condenser.
That's probably why it was off.
You already know he's on point.
Yeah, so that's probably why you had it
One of the
off.
first things we did, because it had a bend in it.
Okay.
So let's keep cooking, Kurt, because you're on fire already.
So then kind of moving back, interestingly, I always tell people, don't be as worried about the mechanicals of the engine as you are about the body. Because in a weird way, it's a lot less expensive. We always think, hey, if you go test drive a Land Cruiser, does it run good? Well, that's important, but how's the body, how's the frame? Because motors, the 3FE's been around for a lot of years, a lot of parts available for it. Some stuff's getting a little harder to get, but you can rebuild these, you can replace these, you can get parts. But if you have a really rough body, it gets a lot more expensive and a lot harder to find good conditioned tubs, good conditioned bodies, and even frames. So not to say don't look at the motor, but maybe put that a little lower on the list if you're looking for a really clean one versus good sheet metal. If you're looking for a good trail rig, well then maybe you're not worried about a little rust, and that's fine too.
I mean, one of the first things I did was just verify that it turned on in the video. The guy sent me the video. That was almost good enough for me. And then immediately it was all about the body, it was all about the frame, and figuring out, is this thing actually in good condition or not? Because I did want something that had just a good frame and
good core, guts. Good DNA.
I don't really worry about the engine. I like doing this stuff anyway. So.
And I'd say it does. Getting running videos is awesome. A great way to do that if the seller is willing to participate is have them do like a cold start one.
I did that.
You learn a lot, and one way to know that is have them come put their hand on the radiator, or even ask them to touch the exhaust manifold and verify that you're seeing a true cold start. Because motors very commonly run a little differently when they're hot versus when they're cold. So, but overall, everything looks really overall tight in here. Obviously, we're seeing some little wiring stuff that you and I just chit-chatted right before we kicked off the video. You've got some temp senders that aren't working, an oil sender, so it needs some cleanup, but it's in good serviceable shape that fixing this wiring and some of the small issues it has aren't going to take a whole lot of work. Still has factory fusible links over there on the primary battery, so it's got some aftermarket stuff like some stereo system, and I'm guessing some
switch controller.
Switch controller's been added for lights and some accessories.
We added that,
It looks like it's all done tidily, so everything's kind of there where you need it. Yeah.
Cool.
Next one is just really overall looking at the body, and the next place you really can start seeing if they've ever had any filler is looking at some of these lines and joints. And you can tell this one's had a little bit of sheet metal rework and kind of cleanup done, and it's a different color than factory.
Right.
So it's repaint and had a really cool graphic package put on at the same time. We never saw these kind of graphics here in the United States, but they do look so cool on 60s.
It gives me like Arab Emirates feels for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why I think that.
Yeah, GCC countries, a lot of them, Saudi, and those countries had lots of these packages, and it looks so cool on there. So it stands out when a FJ62 like this pulls up, and any 60 series with cool graphics. So I totally dig that. Little harder to see on this one because you've got your sliders, but inspecting that pinch weld all along the bottom of the body. Also, likely had some filler and some holes patched where it would have had, like we call them like snake blinders, like chrome strips along the bottom, could have had. So just looking to see if that was done cleanly. It's not a bad thing if they've been eliminated. You just don't want them holes that are going to expose or catch moisture later and rot out. And really where you'll get a good telltale sign, because this is a common corrosion and rust spot, is like the thickness of this channel here. And this is overall good. It's got a, maybe a little bit of filler in there, but you are starting to see this common spot here where you're getting a little bit of delamination and moisture is getting between those layers and causing some rust blistering. So that would be one, definitely kind of jump on before it gets a little worse. And you can see where the rockers had it as well from moisture getting in.
And that's the most common thing on these.
So common.
I couldn't find any that did not have some sort of rust issue at the exact spot. I modified some little mud flaps for the future. It came painted this way. They painted right over it.
Right, yeah.
But there are some companies that do that cutout. They can replace that piece.
That piece was available from Toyota even as a dealer part for many years. Not anymore, it's discontinued, but you could buy this piece from basically here, this trim, down into the rocker because it was just a known place to collect debris, and it sat up on top there and rusted through. And then what I'm seeing here is painted over, but likely that is not even likely, that is body filler that was used to smooth it up, clean it up, painted over it so it looked really beautiful when they were done, but that body filler starts to absorb moisture and blister over time, and that's what we're seeing here. So that's not irreparable at all. That's just something you'll need to address down the road.
And full disclosure, I had to poke a screwdriver through a hole at the bottom there, because when I took apart the actual panels inside,
they were holding water.
Not only holding, it was like a beach in there.
Wow.
There was like so much sand and like rust and like, I don't know, Bondo, I don't know. But I poked a hole and it just emptied with sand for like 2 minutes. And then now, you know, there was less moisture being held. I don't know if there's supposed to be a natural drain hole there or something.
There is. So what?
Because I feel like it got plugged, you know?
In that pinch weld, if you look under a really clean specimen that hasn't had any damage to it, in that pinch weld, there'll actually be little openings along there. So where the panels come together and are welded, there'll be a little opening where water can drain out. Well, that fills with pine needles and leaves and bugs and dust and everything else, clogs up, and now the body panel just starts holding all that moisture, and that's what happens on all. Yeah, that is a super common 60 series spot, bolt that one on the inside. I'm suspecting you can see a little bit of a body filler line here, so it's fair to say that this has been rebuilt and patched and kind of cleaned up. And again, doesn't make it a bad cruiser. You know it's there, and you'll just kind of keep an eye on it and address it as you need to.
Right.
Yeah. So obviously you've got this really outfitted with some great suspension. Looks like you got Dobinson suspension, the Dobinson rear bumper and front bar on there. You got the rack. Look at these rain gutter rails. That's another buying point to really check out and see. These are factory chrome strips and a factory trim on here. But these spots up through here are also a very common rust. And yours looks really good up there and doesn't appear, not seeing any signs of filler. So I think this was a really low rust, low corrosion truck that was just had some spots that were kind of cleaned up when it got repainted. But you'll probably need to address them down the road. But overall, it's in great shape. And the thing I love to see is when I look in there at your frame is very solid. Because you'll start to see frames inside here that are just blistering and swelling. They're blistering here. And I peeked underneath a little earlier and looking at that cross member. It's in good shape. So you've got a great frame and chassis to build up on. Fixing that kind of stuff, pretty minor.
And when we took off the suspension, and you'll see the video on the channel, I mean, it was absolute war to get like a 30-year-old suspension out of there.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, it took hammers and torches and everything. But we're banging so much, the frame would have had issues. It would have been exposed.
Prying and hammering
we're hitting,
as you did.
If there's a hole, if there's rust, if there's just paint covering it, it would have been a nightmare and we would have seen it. So I felt really good about the frame, despite obviously how hard it was to get the stock suspension off. But yeah, when I got the vehicle, the frame seemed solid. The rust seemed visible. I'm okay with what I can see. I was afraid that it would come with things I didn't know. But no, I thought it was a decent purchase. Anything else, I mean, tips, things to look for that give like some history of the character of it? I don't know if you know anything about the VIN or like...
Yeah, so real cool thing about looking at the VIN, even though it has the newer style VIN, you still have the full model code on your data tag there. So looking at that, we can tell this is an FJ62. Well, we knew that. The L is it's a left-hand drive wagon, and it's also a US spec model. So you can quickly look at that, and even though other countries got FJ62s and in left-hand drive, by looking at that VIN number and that model code, we know it was a US spec truck. And there's a lot of awesome vehicles coming from all around the world, but it's important as a buyer to know where it came from, because sometimes that will tell you how it was rebuilt or what parts it should have had originally. So they don't always, wouldn't have always had the same A440 auto that you had, could have been an original 5-speed manual transmission. But this one looks like it's very factory trim with the exception of the cool accessories you've done. And I love the factory, the steel factory hubcaps on there. They're so cool. Obviously off of a 40 series, but they work really well on 60s, 70s, and 80s too. So
they just look so retro.
I think it's cool. I love these, call them the bug guards or the smoker's guards or the window vents. So cool. Those are awesome to be able to like kick down the highway when it's raining. And other little tidbits, like I walked around, your glass all has the factory Toyota symbol on it, which means it's original glass. You can see it's all matching kind of era numbers, so it's a very original truck.
Nice. Well, give it a rating and be harsh. What do you think? If you saw this and you had a brother and he was going to buy it, is it a good buy depending on the price? I mean, like
depending on the price, I think it's a great buy. I wouldn't shy away from this at all. We've seen it's got some little problem areas on the lower rocker panels. We know it had some filler done through here, and there's some cleanup evidence through the front, but it was done with care. They obviously did a full repaint. You can see the original color on the doors on the inside. It was still a tan color, not purely original because of the cool accessories you've done, but it's invaluable because you're out here using it and having fun. So I'd say it's a great buy.
And it's reliable. I mean, I did a week straight in Wyoming as his first.
I saw you last in Colorado with it. And here we are on the complete opposite
We're going through
side.
water crossings, and I dogged it. Whatever issues it would have had, it would have been exposed then. And no, I'm really happy with it. But I wanted somebody who actually has the eye to take a look.
No, I've been eyeing it all weekend. You're like peeking over here, it makes me smile every time I see it. So I love it. Cool trim. It's got all the power stuff, so it's a nice late '89 build. So it's got kind of like the best of everything in the 60 series world by then.
Cool, man. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. And
appreciate it.
The Pro gave it its seal of approval. So
I give it 2 thumbs up.
Cool.
I don't know if that's worth anything, but I'd buy it.
Cool.
You call me if you're ready to sell.
Yeah, sweet, man. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for watching.